back down and wait for. No, I wouldn't know how to do it. If it would shut off. I'm sorry. What? Go.
I'm talking about at the end because you get your channel and stuff.
Oh.
So you have to wait.
Yeah, if you want to do that. But, oh. And then you'd have to restart it again.
Good afternoon, and thank you for joining Rushtown Band for their annual patriotic concert, this year featuring music celebrating our nation's 250th birthday, which is coming up next Saturday, July the 4th. I'm Nancy Bergeron, and I'll be your narrator for this afternoon's concert. There are programs, I think there's still some, on the music stands about halfway back in the auditorium for you if you like it. There's also a QR code in there for you to learn more about the band. The arrangement of the Star Spangled Banner that we open with today was written by composer John Williams for the opening of the 2004 Rose Bowl game. The piece was originally played by the combined marching bands of the Universities of Michigan and Southern California, which was about 500 college musicians. Williams adds his own touches, combining the national anthem with his musical magic for an energetic ending to the traditional arrangement. In short, this version is a little longer and a little more exciting. Please stand if you are able and join me in welcoming the Rushtown Band and their conductor, Dr. Chris Heidenreich, in John Williams' arrangement of the Star Spangled Banner. selection was commissioned for the inauguration of President Richard Nixon in 1973 and has been performed at each presidential inauguration since by the President's own United States Marine Band. Thomas Knox, the arranger of the selection, heard the Marine Band on tour and he decided he wanted to play trumpet with them. So we studied trumpet with the principal trumpet with the Chicago Symphony Orchestra, and then attended the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign and joined the Marine Band as a trumpet player in 1961. By 1966, he'd moved to arranging staff, and 3 years later, he was appointed the chief arranger and conductor to compose and arrange for the Marine Band, position he held until he retired in 1985. Featured selections in this number are America, Yankee Doodle, Battle Hymn of the Republic, Dixie, America the Beautiful, and Columbia, the Gem of the Ocean. Here is An American Pageant. graduate student in 1961 when he wrote the music to our next piece as a marching band show for the University of Michigan. His program note says this, and let me tell you, Jerry's a little long-winded, so just hang in there. After a brief introduction using the main themes of the fragments, we try to picture musically the mood of the United States just before the Civil War. We hear popular tunes from the mid-19th century, listen to the Mockingbird, Dixieland, and the Camptown Races. From the distance comes the sound of drums and the strains of John Brown's Body announcing the first signs of the coming conflict. Little whispers of Dixie and the battle cry for freedom become intermingled, and then we hear the brilliant strains of the South's rallying song, Maryland, My Maryland. This gives way to the Union hymn, the battle cry of freedom, and suddenly we hear When Johnny Comes Marching Home as young Americans from both North and South were called from their homes to fight one another. Here the music becomes meditative, gradually dying out as a soldier recalls many songs of his day, weaving through the sentimental journey just before the Battle of Mother. The reverie is soon broken by the thunder of drums as we picture the Northern armies on the move, marching through Georgia, and the Southern troops at the Yellow Rose of Texas. With fragments of their favorite songs ringing in their ears, the two armies come closer and closer, the music building in intensity. Finally, in a shattering explosion, the war is on. The noisy tumult soon dies away, giving birth to the Battle Hymn of the Republic, a republic restored, but not proud of its costly victory. Slowly, the music builds in grandeur, representing the spiritual hope for peace and prosperity, the United States of America that eventually becomes a reality, as the immortal words of Abraham Lincoln become the symbol of dedication for all Americans. The government of the people, by the people, and for the people, shall not perish from the earth. Here is American Civil War fantasy. collection takes its title from the motto of the U.S. Marine Corps, Semper Fidelis, always faithful. It was dedicated to those who inspired it, the members of the United States Marine Corps. In composer John Philip Sousa's own words, I wrote Semper Fidelis one night while in tears, after my comrades, the Marine Corps, had sung their famous hymn at Quantico. Semper Fidelis subsequently gained recognition as the official march of the U.S. Marines. Sousa regarded it his best march, musically speaking. In honor of the recent 250th anniversary of the U.S. Marine Corps, founded in November of 1775, here is Sousa's Semper Fidelis. Our next piece was written to commemorate Operation Sail in 1976, which was the largest worldwide gathering of tall ships. The event, you remember, took place in New York Harbor on July 4, 1976, as part of America's bicentennial celebration. Dedicated to Commander Ned Muffley and the United States Navy Band, the work premiered as part of those festivities. Would you join me in welcoming our assistant conductor, Mary Wilkinson, as she leads the band in Parade of the Tall Ships. All right, so next we're going to go on a cross-country musical road trip from New York to San Francisco with points in between. Going to be the best summer vacation you ever had. This medley travels through some of the best-known songs about cities and states in just a few minutes, and it costs you nothing. The drive features the sidewalks of New York, my kind of town Chicago is, Kansas City, here I come, the Yellow Rose of Texas, Viva Las Vegas, and I left my heart in San Francisco. Here is Coast to Coast. studied composition at Yale University, but he didn't pass many of his classes except music. In 1898, he went to New York to work for the Mutual Life Insurance Company. And he formed an insurance business in 1902, which was prosperous, especially in some of his new innovations like estate planning. A successful businessman by day, Ives was a composer by night. He composed his Variations of America when he was 17 and working as a church organist in his hometown. The music demonstrates his patriotism, but also his ability to use music to kind of cut up a little bit. The music is comprised of 5 variations ranging from humorous to an imitation of barbershop quartet and even a Turkish dance. Here is Charles Ives' Variations on America for band. ability to gather here today is a direct result of the men and women who in the past or are currently serving in our armed forces. The band's next selection honors those who have served and are serving their country. We ask that if you have served or have family members now serving in the military, that you would please rise and be recognized if you're able when you hear your specific service melody. This is Armed Forces Salute. United States Army. United States Coast Guard and Merchant Marine. The United States Marine Corps. The United States Air Force and Space Force. all of our service members stand one more time and be recognized. God of Our Fathers is a 19th century American Christian hymn written in 1876 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of the United States Declaration of Independence. The hymn was written by Daniel C. Roberts, who was a priest in the Protestant Episcopal Church, and he was serving as the rector of St. Thomas and Grace Episcopal Churches in Brandon, Vermont. Roberts had served in the Civil War in the 84th Ohio Infantry. Chief Arranger Thomas Knox was tasked to create a new setting for the well-known hymn in 1981 for the inaugural ceremony of Ronald Reagan. The work was soon made a staple of the Marine Band repertoire and has since been used in numerous significant occasions in the past 3 decades, including the dedication of the Vietnam Veterans Memorial in 1982 and the Congressional Prayer Vigil held in the U.S. Capitol Rotunda the day after the September 11, 2001 terrorist attacks. Here is an arrangement of God of Our Fathers. Thank you for joining us this afternoon, and thanks to Louisiana Tech University for allowing us to use Howard Auditorium. Rushdown Band encourages you to like us on Facebook and visit the website that's listed in your program for upcoming concerts and events. There's also a QR code where you can keep up with band activities. And finally, don't forget to join the band at the Dixie Center for the Arts on Thursday, December the 17th at 7 p.m. for our holiday concert. Ladies and gentlemen, our national march, John Philip Sousa's Stars and Stripes Forever.